Hello, 你好. Today, I'm going to read Nightlight, a book about the moon.
Friends in space. Do you have a best friend? Do you like to do lots of things together? Earth and the moon are like best friends. The moon is the Earth's closest neighbor in space. Earth and the moon are always together. Fun fact, the moon is traveling around Earth all the time. It travels in an oval-shaped path called an orbit. Gravity's hold. Do you and your friend hold hands? Holding hands keeps you together. Earth and the moon don't hold hands. They stay together with gravity. It is the force of Earth and the moon pulling on each other. This force keeps them from floating apart. Fun fact, Earth pulls on you too. It keeps you from floating into the sky. The moon's face. The moon has dark spots and light spots. Some people think the moon looks like a face. Have you ever looked for the man in the moon? At night, the moon sometimes looks bright. The moonlight might be bright enough to make shadows on the ground. The moon does not produce light though. Moonlight is really the sun's light bouncing off the moon. Fun fact, one side of the moon faces Earth, the other side faces away. From Earth, you can only see one side of the moon. You never get to see its other side. Moon phases. The moon sometimes looks like a bright circle. This circle is called a full moon. The moon does not always look round. It looks like it gets smaller and thinner. Then, it looks like it disappears. Keep watching. It will appear again soon. The moon starts small and thin, then it grows until it is a circle again. These changes are called phases. Fun fact, the moon is not really changing shape. It just looks that way from Earth. The sun shines on half of the moon at a time. Phases are when we only see part of the moon's lit side. The moon is made of rock. There are many rocks floating in space. A long time ago, some of these rocks hit the moon. The moon is covered with holes made by rocks crashing into it. These holes are called craters. Fun fact, the moon has flat and bumpy land areas. Tall hills and mountains also rise from the ground. Space visits. People cannot live on the moon right now. There is no air to breathe. People called astronauts have visited the moon. They wore special spacesuits. The suits had air inside so the astronauts could breathe. Fun fact, the astronauts weighed less on the moon than on Earth because of gravity. It was hard to walk because they were so light. They had to bounce across the ground. Moon weather. There is no weather on the moon. No wind blows the soil. No rain wears away the rocks. The moon looks the same today as it did millions of years ago. Fun fact, unlike the moon, Earth is always changing. The weather is different across Earth, which causes lots of changes. Turning tides. Have you ever been to the ocean? Sometimes the beach is large because the water level is low. When the water is low, it is called low tide. Sometimes the beach is small because the water level is high. When the water is high, it is called high tide. The moon helps make tides happen. The moon pulls on Earth and pulls the water away from the beach. Fun fact, on most ocean shores, there is one high tide and one low tide each day. High tide might wipe out a sandcastle you made on the shore. Low tide shows the sandy ocean bottom, where you might find interesting creatures to study. Staying together. You and your friends do things together. They stay close to you so you are not alone. Earth and the moon are like friends. They sit close together in space. Fun fact, the word month comes from the word moon. A month is the time it takes the moon to orbit Earth once. The moon orbits Earth about 12 times a year. This is the number of months we have on our calendars.
Friends, 朋友们 Moon, 月亮 Moon, 月球 Earth, 地球 Moon phases, 月相 Gravity, 万有引力